What's up, wonderful people? Thank you very much for clicking, man. Big up to yourself. Good vibes on this art we are all about here. And love, peace, forgiveness, and unity is our message. Straight out of Africa with good vibes. Lots of good vibes. Kindly watch till the end and tell us where you're watching from, man. Today's video is a good compilation. Watch till the end carefully and leave your comments. Let's dive in. Oh, good vibes till the end, man. Ha! Oh, what's up with this? Someone's puppy here is chasing the train. Ay, 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 ay.
You might think that when something rusts, it's destroyed forever. But today I'm going to turn rust back into iron. Iron, like in this steel wool, rusts easily when it's wet. And that's a big problem because we use steel as a structural material for buildings, bridges, and cars. Iron atoms lose electrons when rusting occurs. So to change it back, I need to add a material that can provide electrons. And aluminum metal works well for this. But nothing happens when you mix the two materials together. And this is because the reaction requires a lot of energy to get started. The magnesium metal burns really hot, so I used a strip of that to start the process. And at first it didn't seem like much was happening, but then this happened. And the reaction gave off so much heat that the iron that formed glowed red, so I had to let it cool for a while before breaking the pot to recover it. There's our iron.
You're kidding me. And then what? Unbelievable. And then what?
3 spices that can lead to weight loss and destroying fat storage. Hi, if you're new to this channel, I'm Dr. K, or Dr. Kareem Samori, and I'm all about little simple tips and tricks that can help you restore your health and vitality and optimize your health to its full potential. Today, let's talk about something as simple as spices. Cinnamon, a lot of people don't realize, is great for regulating blood sugar. So I just add a couple shakes of cinnamon into my green tea in the morning, and that's how I start my day, regulating my blood sugar from the very beginning. The next thing that I'm gonna mention to you is cayenne pepper. You see, fasting is great. It's highly underrated. I recommend people fast a day a week, or a week a month, or a week every 2 months, or even just a few days. We talk about it in the 1 week detox, but we also talk about it in other ways. When you're fasting, cayenne pepper is great for satiation. It's great for helping you feel full and also spiking your metabolism at the same time. And then third, let's talk about ginger. So many people suffer from indigestion, and that has a lot to do with the nutrients that you can or cannot absorb. Many people overeat because they're not absorbing the proper amount of nutrients. Adding ginger to your tea or making a ginger turmeric tea can be a wonderful remedy to be able to aid and assist with digestion and therefore lead to greater nutrient absorption and decreased appetite. This is awesome stuff. I hope you share it with your friends and family. Take care. Bye.
Ah, oh my god, see. Oh, someone's dog went out there and brought something. What is that? Ah, yeah, 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 yeah.
How does one connect
Oh,
with their ancestors, or how does one go about honoring their ancestors? How is this done? You see, throughout our lives, we have been programmed by church and religion. We have been led to believe that connecting or reaching out or communicating with anyone or anything that has died and crossed over into the spiritual dimensions, we have been programmed that this is evil and that this is of the devil and that this is a sin, a very wrong thing in the eyes of God. And because we want to serve God and worship God and do right in God's eyes, this have disallowed us from communicating with the ancestors. We have stayed away from the ancestors. However, the ancestors is our liberation within the spiritual dimensions. You see, when we look at the ancestors, what are the ancestors? The ancestors are beings who have incarnated here into this dimension to experience life. They finished with their life mission, they finished with their existence, and they moved on into the immortal dimension. You see, for every spirit is immortal. No one dies. You see, the only reason why we think someone died and no longer exists is because we have also been programmed to believe that when someone dies, that is the end of existence, the end of life, or that we go to some dark place where there is eternal torment. You see, we have been programmed to think a certain way about death, and we have been programmed to think a certain way about the ancestors, you see. If you are afraid of the ancestors, or if you are afraid to communicate with the ancestors, you will not be able to benefit from their existence, for they exist, you see. There are some ancestors who have chosen to remain within the spiritual dimensions just to assist you. You see, they have crossed over into the spiritual dimension and they have become aware of who and what you are. You are a starseed. You need help. You need powerful spiritual help. The life of a starseed is not an easy life. You see, the life of a chosen one is not an easy life. Your life will be bombarded with extreme trials and extreme tribulation, you see. You did not come into this dimension to have an easy life. You did not incarnate here into this dimension to have an easy life, you see. There are some of your ancestors who were here before you who have crossed on into the immortal spiritual dimension that know now who and what you are, and they have remained in the spiritual dimension to assist you. They see your mission, they see your purpose, they know how powerful it is, and they know that you will need their help. However, if you are not aware of this, and if you are thinking that your ancestors are evil and of the devil and that God will punish you for communicating with your ancestors, you will miss out on this help. Sometimes, many times, and oftentimes in your life, I know that you have experienced where you were in extreme danger, or where your life was at stake, danger was present, and something supernaturally happened. You see, out of nowhere, something supernaturally transpired. You see, this was no accident. This was no coincidence. There was something, someone watching over you. That could have been a spirit guide, a guardian angel, or an ancestor.
I was dating a light-skinned black woman. I took her to meet my friends. When I took her to meet them, the next day after that, I was hanging out with them by myself, not with her anymore. And one of them said, "Oh, you got yourself a breeder." And I said, "A what?" He said, "A breeder." I said, "What's that?" "Somebody that you could have kids with." And I said, "How do you determine that?" "Because she's light-skinned." And I said, "How do you determine when I shouldn't have a baby with somebody if she hella black?" So now, check this out. A lot of times, brown and black people, when we date white women, I suspect internalized racism involved. Because my question is, what is your reason for going to have children with them? Kind of like the video that I did with the Nigerian told me that he wants to get with white woman. And I said, why? And he said, because I want white children. When we go for a white woman, my real question is, why? Do you suffer from internalized racism? I want to know why you're going there. Is it because you truly like the qualities of this white woman as an individual, never mind her race, never mind her complexion? Or are you trying to hope that your children come out light skinned? A lot of us non-white men go outside of our race to mix because we want to whiten our next generation. You cannot dispute that fact. Do you love the person? Do you love yourself? Or are you really getting with the white woman because you want to hope that your next generation doesn't come out dark? A lot of times you have a conversation with people who went out of their way to get with the white person. You have an honest conversation with them, and without them confessing, you will identify internalized racism. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Why would people despise each other because of color? Let's love each other as humans. Good vibes, man. We are people. Look at these pyramids. So there's always something very fishy with those pyramids. No. And some guy is forcefully taking stuff out of his dog's mouth. Oh my god. These animals are always very interesting. Oh. And sometimes they are very fishy. You see? But in a good way, man. Full of love and good vibe. Oh. Much love to all guys out there living well with animals in pain and good vibes. So, today these animals are free. Oh, this is very funny. It reminds me of a story that someone had hidden meat under their bed just to wait for the visitors to leave. And then the dog came and took the meat, you see? And it dragged it below the bed when the visitors were still there. And it was really surprising because the visitors knew now that the host was selfish. You see? These dogs are very amazing and incredible. Oh my god. Oh. And sometimes it's why it's good to be honest, caring and sharing. You see? Like now that story I'm telling you with that guy that had hidden some meat below the bed. You see? It was out of selfishness. But the dog was used by God to expose him. You see?
Now here's the key to the law of accumulation. This law says that everything counts. Everything that you do counts. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that only what they want to count counts. No. When you read a book, when you listen to an audio program, when you go to a course, when you go to bed early and get up early and you work, it all counts. And it's all going on the plus side of your ledger. But when you watch television, waste time, hang out, fool around, and so on, all of that counts as well. And it's going on the negative side of your ledger. A person who has a great life by the law of accumulation is a person who's accumulated far more credits, more pluses on the credit side than debits on the debit side. And here's an important point. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's probably moving you away from your goals. Nothing is neutral. Everything that you're doing is either moving you toward the things that you want to accomplish in life, the person you want to be, the wealth you want to accumulate, or it's moving you away. Everything counts. The law of accumulation says that everything counts.
What is this? Is this some robot from the past or what's this? It looks kinda creepy, man. Oh my god. Look at what was found inside. Some manuscript or scrolls. Oh my god. This is really creepy. Who do you think wrote these books? Oh my god. What type of information might be in this scrolls? Oh man, this is definitely some information from the past. These drawings are always recurring, and I wonder what's up with them. The Scorpio, the old, that weird looking, I don't know, ego. No. Are these symbols from the past maybe meant to signify something? Makes me really wonder. Please share any information you have about these symbols in the comment section. You see, now that was something very sad. You see, that dog was mourning its owner, and oh my god, you see, that's very sad. You see, these animals really enjoy that time we have with them, the compassion we give them, and the love. You see, and when we are away, they always miss us. You see, oh my god, that was very sad. That's why we need to always treat one another and even the animals with love and
I've
care.
seen a lot of things in my life, but I've never seen. Is he pettable?
Oh yeah, you pet him.
Really?
Yeah, it won't bite.
I've never petted a possum.
Their hair is like really stringy.
Oh, very soft.
Very stringy hair.
What is your name?
Piglet.
Hi, Piglet.
I thought it was a girl at first, and we found it as a boy. But I've had him for 6 months now. I have him since.
أسلم وين؟ جاهز أبو خالد؟ جاهز. وش متعلق كذا؟ يا حلايل.
Oh my god. Oh. How is that even possible? Oh my god. Acha. I may as well try this out and see if it really works or this is just some nice. Let's see. This wonderful guy is trying this out and let's see what he shall find out. Wait, what? What? It really worked! This is incredible! Oh my god! And this guy here used a solder gun to do what? To cut into a piece of plastic. Oh, I think that is achievable. I think you can do that when the solder is extremely hot or hot enough. Let's see. This guy tried it out and well, it's like nothing is happening. Or what's up? It really happened. Oh, that's interesting. Good vibes, man.
Apparently, you can see UFOs with 3D glasses. You take the blue and the red, put them together and use as a filter for your phone. Check this video out.
You know those 3D glasses that are red on one side and blue on the other, and you get them in movie theaters? He cut them up so that the lenses were separate, and he stapled them together, and he taped it on top of his lens for his iPhone. And what that did, I'm not sure he understood how that was happening, what was going on, but he somehow knew to do that. I don't know how he knew to do that without knowing what he was doing, but he taped them on top of the lens. The red lets in infrared. The red and the blue together blocks out almost all visible light. And so the light that can get through is going to be the infrared stuff. There's not much ultraviolet light in the atmosphere, so it's really mostly infrared. And so what happens is the phone gears up its automatic gain control to try to get any light what at all. But there is no visible light that's coming in because of the red and the blue together. So what he ends up getting is mostly the mostly the infrared. Mm-hmm. And he started taking videos with his iPhone with this makeshift thing of the Washington, D.C. area, and he started to get a whole bunch of UFOs. Interesting configurations, different shapes and everything. So the Washington, D.C. area was like filled with them. And these were things on demand, any 10-minute period that he would do it. He came to us with Excel spreadsheets, which had aeronautical data, all types of everything, the analysis of it, how you analyze distance, speed, size, everything. And then he came to us with recommendations for things he didn't even have. He said, what you need is a GH6 camera. He didn't even have one, but he knew we needed a GH6. And he knew that we needed to send it to a specific company called lifepixel.com, to have it converted. Now, there are other places that do conversion. What they do is they take the sensor, and the sensor of all cameras has a glass filter on top of it that blocks out infrared and ultraviolet, because you don't want that in your images. However, that glass filter on top of the sensor has to be removed. Once you take the filter off of the sensor, you have to put another filter on top of the lens. He knew all about that. He didn't have any of that, but he knew all about that.
It's crazy.
And to tune into the bandwidth that you want.
There's so many things that we have no idea about. So what do you think, guys? Should I get the camera and do an experiment and try this?
Oh, Do you think it really works, my
Something
friend?
weird has just been found. Basically, this guy came across a really strong signal on his metal detector, and he's going to be digging it up. I'm going to say I claim no negative energy from this video. What's about to happen, and I hope you guys don't claim any of it either. But you can see him here. This thing is deep, whatever it is way down below the tree roots. You can see him pulling this tree up. He's trying to get down to what looks like this container. Okay, there's this giant like pot container thing, and he's pulling this out. Again, I claim no freaking negative energy from this video. I'm just giving you a warning. So he's pulling this out, and it's got like a little bit of a top here, and he's gonna bust this thing open right here. He's gonna bust it open, and now look right here. That is like look at that. It is a old like carving of what looks to be like a kid's face or something, but inside of this there's some sort of like, I don't know if this is a scroll or a piece of skin or something, and then this is an old piece of jewelry.
Oh, that is very creepy. Give me an idea. Oh my god.
When I was in critical care this past summer, there was a woman who came to my room every day to clean in the ICU. She was a very straightforward woman. She had a strong accent. But upon getting to know her, I was amazed at her point of view in life and relationships. We started talking about life and some of the struggles that come with the relationships that we have as people. And what she said amazed me. I told her I was a life and relationship coach for men, and her response was strong. Listen to what she said. Most people I have met don't even know what a true relationship is. Relationships aren't all fun and games. They're hard work. She went on to say, I speak 5 languages, but I was in a country where we were being persecuted. My husband and I chose to leave to seek a better life, but we had children and we both couldn't leave together. We had to come up with a plan where we could all get out of the country and someday be together again. I took the children and escaped. But in the process of leaving, I fell and severely broke an ankle. I walked on that ankle and endured excruciating pain for weeks to get my children to safety, but we finally made it to the United States. My husband wrapped up our affairs back home and didn't make it over to our new home for 2 years. She went on to tell me, I'm afraid that so many people don't understand what true love is. They jump out when things get tough or when they see something else that's shiny. If someone walks away from you, they weren't worth having in your life in the first place. Wow. Now, although I don't agree with all of her summations, many things that she said actually do resonate with me. Yes, breakups are difficult, but listen to me, men especially. There are much harder things in life than going through a breakup or the deconstruction of a relationship. Yes, it's difficult, but this is why you constantly hear me talk about making sure that you are the best you that you can be. Life will serve up some very painful things to you, including breakups. But when you are emotionally and mentally prepared for the tough stuff, by knowing who you are, what your attachment issues are, and your struggles as a person, you set yourself up for relationship success with the right people who can respect your boundaries and love you for who you are. It's true. Breakups suck. There's no doubt about it. But what sucks even more is when you allow that breakup to define you as a human being and you refuse to move past it. If you need some help navigating all of that, I'm a men's life and relationship coach. My coaching sessions will be back on track in January of 2024. I've had a heart transplant, and so I've been in recovery mode for quite a while. But I have a list of clients who are interested. I'm willing to add your name to the list, but please don't allow a relationship to define you as a person. You're worth more than that. Stay strong, be well, and do good work. You deserve to be happy.
You are wonderful and fearfully made. Good vibes, man.
So we're in 2021, which is the age of Aquarius. 2,000 years ago was the age of Pisces. 2,000 years before that, which was 4,000 years ago, from 2K BC to 1 AD was Aries, and from 4K BC to 2K BC was Taurus. So that means 6K to 4K, 8K to 6K, 10,000 BC to 8,000 BC was the age of Leo. So about 12,000 years ago, 10,000 BC plus 2021 is 12,000 years ago was the age of Leo, which is why there's a sphinx in front of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, actually in front of it's next to the Great Pyramids of Egypt facing the east, because when you look to the east, you would have saw Leo rising at the horizon at the east where the sun rises. So the point is, everything rises from the east and sets in the west. It goes around. So that's your zodiac wheel above your head, and it's turning. So these zodiacs right here are basically spinning above your head, as the Egyptians knew. So there's the zodiacs right there, and they're right on here, spinning above your head. Now the point is this. These are parallel. There's the astral plate and the earth plane, planet, okay? Just like this. Now the point is this. We are going from Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn gives us lead. Jupiter gives us tin. Mars gives us iron. Venus gives us copper. Mercury gives us quicksilver or mercury. Gold is given to us by the sun, and the moon gives us silver. So it's like this. Metal is metallo, which means matter and loose. So high frequency matter becomes light. When you vibrate something really fast, it becomes light. Low frequency light becomes matter. So when something starts vibrating slower, it becomes less bright. You need to excite something to make it bright. So here it is. The sun gives us gold, the moon gives us silver, Mars gives us iron, because Mars is a red planet, and it gives us Tuesday's Martes, but Mars is a red planet, and there's iron in your blood. There's iron on Mars, and your blood is red. Mars is red. So Mercury, Wednesday is Miércoles, which is Mercury, which gives us the metal Mercury. So when the light of these luminaries, these are visible, you can't see Neptune, Uranus, or Pluto, but when you see these planets, you can't see Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So these 7 luminaries, which you can see with the naked eye, when they touch the earth, they become solidified. So the sun's light becomes gold, Saturn's light becomes lead, Venus's light becomes copper. So we are going to transmutate, and we are going from lead to gold, because the frequency is going to get higher, and we're going to go from matter to light. So that's the transmutation of the metals. So it's very beautiful what's going on, what's about to happen. The consciousness is rising, definitely.
Oh my god.
First, we're going to be talking about the pole shift. All right. So essentially, what's happening is it's not global warming. It's a pole shift. Planet Earth has experienced pole shifts in the past. And so this is nothing new that we're going through. But what I will say is that it's happening a lot less than what it's happened before. In the past, it has been a total 180 pole shift, where Antarctica turns into a beautiful, lush, tropical, Costa Rica sort of rain forest. We're not going to have that. From what I've heard, the poles are only shifting about 13 degrees, which is still significant enough, but not so much that we're all going to die. So don't worry about that, but it is happening. In 2024, what we're going to experience, what we've been told by the Galactic Federation is we're going to have a lot of tectonic plate shifting, which means a lot of rumbling, a lot of earthquakes. And with that, and also with the electromagnetism shifting on planet Earth, we're also going to have a lot of odd weather patterns. We are going to get snow where there isn't snow. We are going to get, rain where there isn't rain. We're going to get things like flooding, fires, freezing, and like I said before, a lot of earthquakes. I also channeled that there are going to be new land masses, if not just one, maybe multiple land masses that are going to be created either through volcanoes that erupt underneath the ocean, and or the tectonic plates shift and they push up land masses from below the ocean up above the ocean. So we are going to see that, along with a lot of strange weather patterns, and it's all due to the continuing pole shift, because it's not new, it's continuing to happen. Okay, moving on, we're going to experience solar flares. Now, we've already been experiencing solar flares in 2023 and before that, but those solar flares are going to continue. And there's a little bit of a split reality coming into play here. There's one reality or one timeline for planet Earth where we experience a really massive solar flare that wipes out our entire electrical grid, and it will take many, many months to repair that globally and to come back to a place that we were. And then there's also a timeline where we have many smaller solar flares, and it slowly helps us shift our vibration. Now, no matter what, solar flares, whether it be many small ones or one big one, are going to dramatically increase the electromagnetic frequency on planet Earth, which means things like increased vibration within human beings, and then also things like the Schumann resonance spikes and things like seeing the aurora borealis as well in the sky are all a part of it. So we will see Schumann resonance spikes, and we will also see Schumann resonance blackouts as well that are going to be quite common in 2024. So like I said, there are two split timelines here with solar flares, one big one and many small ones. I personally prefer many small ones. It's just a little bit of a less dramatic shift. If we do get one massive solar flare that wipes everything out, and what I mean by wipes everything out, wipes out the electrical grid and the internet, it's going to take quite a long time to repair, and there most likely will be a lot of trauma, a lot of deaths that occur within that. Now, I will also say that because of the poles shifting and these tectonic plate shifts and these weird weather patterns, we will experience some tragedies and some deaths along with those weather patterns as well. Now, think about it. If a huge tectonic plate shifts in the ocean and there's some sort of earthquake, that will result in, say, a tsunami on land, right? Which can result in many, many people, unfortunately, passing away. So those are all possibilities with these impending shifts and flares taking place. Okay. All right, let's move on to global political unrest. Now, this is nothing new, but this is not only just going to continue in 2024, but this is going to very dramatically increase in 2024. And yes, Paul Harp is a thing, but I have a video on that, and this is not the video for that. Okay, so global political unrest. So essentially what came through is that there are going to be continued wars. Yeah, it could be the Russia-Ukraine war. Yes, it could be the war in the Middle East. And it could actually be an entirely new war that is created as well. It wasn't clear between what countries this was, but it was clear that there was a global impact of this. And one of the biggest global impacts is actually to the supply chain. So what came through was, ports and ships and, the supply chain of goods, export and importing goods into each country all over the world is going to be disrupted by these wars, the ones that are currently happening and the ones that will continue to happen into 2024 and potentially new ones that continue into 2024. And now with the global supply chain being disrupted, what also came through is this word of famine. I really saw a lot of famine occurring all across the world, but unfortunately the third world countries are going to get hit the worst. It doesn't mean that the first world countries will not feel it and not get hit, but unfortunately it is those other countries that are going to feel it the most. And this is actually going to prompt countries to really ask themselves, how do we become more self-sufficient? How do we become more sustainable? And so not only will countries at least begin in 2024 to think about self-sustainability and to minimize globalization, but then to also for countries to think about how can they promote self-sustainability with individual people within their population as well. Maybe there are initiatives for having your own gardens in your backyard, having your own food grown and those kind of things. That is going to be absolutely invaluable starting in 2024 and moving beyond. So please keep that in mind. If you're not already doing that, please begin to think about that. There are also some really incredible in-house grow systems, like hydroponic grow systems that you can have inside your house if you're not in a great climate for growing. So please keep those things in mind. Okay, so one of my questions, just about global political unrest and the war and what's happening. Now, why, right? Like, why are all of the powers that were planning these wars? Why do they continue with these wars, this bullshit war, right? And essentially, this is the age-old technique that they've used time and time again, which is to create fear through war to boost economy, but then to also create compliance. Because with fear, when you're scared, it is the fight or flight or freeze. And in that state of being, You're not in control of your own reality. You're not co-creating the collective reality, and you're definitely not co-creating your own individual reality. You are in survival mode, and that's what war does. So what can we do, the ones who are aware of this, the ones who are waking up and awakened, what can we do to help support the rest of the world who's going through this, who are in these states of fear and compliance? What we can do is we can hold the highest frequency. We can ensure that we're not focused on feeding the matrix and feeding the agendas. We can focus on love and harmony and solutions and peace all throughout the world. And it has been proven that if we can all come together and meditate around the same collective intention, we can make a difference. So please keep that in mind in 2024 when you're feeling a little apathetic about what the hell is going on planet Earth. You can make a difference. And just by stopping for 10 minutes a day and focusing on what you want for the planet, that's going to reach far and wide. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Also, just with holding that highest frequency, in order to shift into the fifth dimension or the new earth, it's not about knowing information. It's about holding a frequency. It's about holding a feeling. As long as you can hold the frequency of kindness, of compassion, of forgiveness, of understanding, then you're going to shift yourself into a higher frequency, and you're going to shift those around you into a higher frequency. If you focus on knowledge, knowing who are the bad guys and what are they up to and what are they planning, what's the next agenda, and how can I navigate this with the knowledge, and you're focused on the wrong things, knowledge won't get you there. Feeling unconditional love will. And I know it sounds so cheesy and so woo-woo, but it's true. All right, let's move on. False alien invasion. This is really interesting, and if you have been on my channel for a little bit, then you'll know I've talked about this, I've brought this up before, and this has been a timeline possibility. This came up quite clearly. And right now for 2024, there's about a 50-50 chance this is going to happen. 50-50 chance is a pretty high probability that it will happen. 50% likely to happen in 2024. There's even a timeline of when this could potentially happen, which is what came through as the late summer, and this would be summer in the Western Hemisphere. So it would be like August, September is when the powers that were, or the governments, would plan a false alien invasion, and they could blow up some buildings, they could destroy some shit, they could kill some people. Absolutely, that could happen. Once again, to create fear, to create panic, to create compliancy, and then also to create reliance on the governments, right? Oh my goodness, what are you guys going to do about it? They're losing control. So right now, their mechanism, their fight or flight, their mechanisms right now are, what can we do to regain control over the people? And an alien invasion is a perfect way to subdue the masses and to create a reliance and attachment to them, because the people don't feel like they have the power to navigate that type of situation.
Oh my god, you see how that is very insane? How that you were saying, man, that's like bad vibes ahead. Oh my god, that's very scary. That's a very not nice future. Anyway, thanks for watching up to this far, good people. And much love to yourself, man. You're a wonderful person for watching up to this far. Kindly hit the like button and help us spread love and caring out there to the world. You see, if we love and care for one another equally, unconditionally like we do to ourselves, the world would be better, you see? And even like now those stuff that wonderful human was saying, we might know the chances of us encountering them, you see? Like now think about it, about famine, you see? If there is famine in some places and some places maybe there may be not, if people practice sharing and loving, that way every person everywhere they'd be okay, you see? Because the people with something, they share with those that lack, and the world will be full of good vibes. Much love to you guys, man. Some guys have been hitting the comment section, leaving some comments there, and it's very wonderful, man. We are very, very thankful and humbled by that gesture. May God bless you and the universe reward you accordingly. Yo, let's watch it in the end. Hit the like button, wonderful people, and share some love.
Mirrors do not show us a fourth dimension, but they do show us what a fourth dimension could do to us. First, notice that some things are the same as their mirror image, but some things are not. These two shapes are similar, but they cannot be rotated to look identical, to be superimposable on each other. This is called being chiral. A chiral shape and its mirror image are called enantiomorphs. These two shapes are enantiomorphs in 2 dimensions. No amount of 2-dimensional rotations will ever make them superimposable. To do that, I'll need to smash one of them inside out, turn it into its own mirror image, or rotate it in a 3rd higher dimension. If I place a sticker here and face that side away from me, notice that the mirror inverts the object just like a rotation through a higher dimension can. The side of the real object that's furthest from me becomes the side of the virtual object that's closest to me. So what would I look like if I was rotated around a plane in a 4th spatial dimension and then brought back? I would look like that.
Oh my god, is that some editing or what's that? Is that the guy again?
Cleopatra. They came after Snow White, turning her sand brown, and now they're coming after Hercules. Hercules will be played by a black guy next.
Hercules? Y'all mean this Hercules? A redhead white man? Hercules. As in the Hercules. Turning black. Are we done? We already fucked up Ariel. We already fucked up Astrid. We already fucked up Cleopatra. We already fucked up Anne Boleyn. I will boycott the fuck out of this movie. I promise you. How the fuck is everything about race now? Can't they just make a new character and call it quits? They have to take a character that's been there for 400 something fucking years and turn him black. Why? Michael B. Jordan is a great actor, but he did great for Creed. Y'all telling me you scoured the earth and you couldn't find one buff white man? Couldn't even got Moist Critical to do the damn job. If this is real, Disney has lost the plot. And I truly hope white folks just boycott Disney, because at this point, Disney is attacking white folks. Who the fuck said we need a black Hercules?
Myself, I have no issue with the color of Hercules. It can be green if you want.